So the next one is the circle C has this equation here, and the radius of C is 5 or 3. Find the value of K. Now, this is expressed in the GX format, the GX format being x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equals 0. It's written in that format, and that format is explained on page 19 of your tables. Now, there is a radius format on this table as well. The radius is the square root of g squared plus f squared minus c. So it makes sense that this 5 root 3 here, which was the radius, will equal the g squared f squared minus c. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to look below and we see 2gx here and we see 2x here. So 2g equals what is 2? This means that g is minus 1. 2f is the same as 8. Therefore, f equals 4. Then when I rub out these values that I have here a second ago, the g and the f, I'm going to replace them with the values I just got here, using brackets, of course. Bracketing, very important. Okay? Because minus 1 squared is not the same as minus 1 to be squared. One of them gives an answer minus 1, the other one gives an answer plus 1. So please use your brackets. Anytime you're inputting letters in, we need to see those brackets, okay? Very important. Okay, that's minus 1 to be squared. That's 4 to be squared. Now, instead of c, we have k. So that's going to be our k value here. Okay. And lo and behold, we're going to get 5 root 3 equals the square root. I'm going to put the 2 down in the calculator. I'm going to get 78 minus k. Now, I'm going to do is going to square both sides. We're going to get 5 root 3. I'm going to square it. We're going to trust the calculator to do the job for us. Once again, putting everything in the bracket and squaring it. And you get 75. And you get 75 equals 78 minus k. Bring the k over to your side. We're going to get k equals 17 minus 75. And we're going to get k equals minus 58. As I said, when you're going through these papers when you're older, you need to check everything. Everything needs to be checked and verified. Okay, and there you go. K is minus 18. That question there, I have the marking scheme on my phone, and that there would go for probably 5 marks, I'd say. Maybe more. Keeps jumping on my phone for some reason, but yeah, call it a 10 marker, okay? Yeah, it's a 5 marker right there, okay? That was worth 5 marks, okay? Now, next one, tangent, okay? Now, this one is given in the form, x minus h squared. It's given in a different format, okay? And that's the format it's given in, okay? So straight away, and this once again is on page 19, I can tell you that the h value is 5 and the k value is, so for minus h, you have minus 5, and that means your h value is 5. For minus k, you have plus 2. This means your k value is minus 2. And it tells you on the tables on page 19 that the center is hk. So I straight away know that the center is 5 minus 2. Okay with you guys? Now, here's what we're looking at. If you draw yourself a little picture, okay, what you have here is you have the center of your circle, 5 minus 2. And for argument's sake, you have 9 minus 4 down here. Okay? And what you need to do is you need to figure out what equation of a tangent is. A tangent is a line that goes through the point and only touches the circle once. So what I could do in this question here is I could figure out the slope of the red line, which is the slope of the center to the point, and then turn that slope upside down and get the slope of the tangent. It's very, very easy business, okay, if you know what a tangent actually means. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to call this x2, y2 for 9 minus 4, and we'll call 5 minus 2, x1, y1. And we're going to get minus 4 minus minus 2, which is going to be plus 2. Then we're going to have x2, which is 9, minus x1, which is 5. And then we get a slope of minus 2 over 4, which is a slope of minus a half. Now, When you have a slope of minus a half, okay, and you want the other slope to be perpendicular, so I want the red slope is -1/2, but I want the slope of the dotted black line. So that means the slope of the dotted black line is actually going to be turn it upside down. So turn a half upside down to 2/1. It was a negative fraction, now it's a positive fraction. The new slope is 2. And it says it wants the equation, so it just wants the slope of the tangent. So I'm done. It doesn't even want the equation of the tangent, it just wants the slope of the tangent. So the slope is 2. Perfect. If you were asked for the equation of the line, the equation of the tangent, which you're not, but you just put in x1 and y1 for 9 and -4 because it's actually on the line, and you put in the slope of 2, and you get the equation of the line pretty handy. But you're not asked for that. Now, the next question. Two circles each both have x-axis and y-axis tangents, and each contains the point 1 minus 8 as shown in the diagram on the right. Find the equation of each of these circles. Now, there's something that I'd like to show you about this type of scenario. This type of scenario has to happen in the following way. Okay, so I'll cut you in on this here, right? So imagine I have this point here. It's in the third quadrant, first, second, third. It's in the fourth quadrant. Excuse me. So it's in quadrant 4, bottom right, so to speak. Okay. Now, in the bottom right quadrant, the following can happen. If I put this mark here, this is the point 2 minus 2. Does everybody see that? And 2 minus 2, if I extend it upwards to a radius of 2, will cut the x and y axis at the same time. Likewise, any point that has the same size, not the same sign, but the same size. So another example would be, let's say 5 minus 5. So 5 across, 5 down. If I do this one here and give this one a radius of 5, that's a triangle. Never helps when you do the wrongs. Helps when you do the wrong one. So there's another example of it hitting the x and y axis as a tangent. Okay. Now the deal with an equation like this is, imagine the center 2 minus 2. Imagine the center 5 minus 5. Okay, and that's minus g minus f is the center of the circle using GF language. Okay. Now using GF language, here's what happens. 2 does not equal minus 2. That doesn't work. But g squared always equals f squared, because in this first equation g would be minus 2 and f would be plus 2, and if I square both of them, they're equal to each other. Likewise with 5, this one here would be g is minus 5 and f is plus 5, and if I square minus 5 squared, it has to equal 5 squared. So this indicates that this is the one I have to remember, is g squared plus f squared equals c. It indicates that I'm using this formula to answer this question. Okay, now on to the equation at hand. It wants the equation of two circles, and we're definitely using the GF method, or yeah, the GF method. Okay. Now here's what we're going to do. We know that -1 minus 8 is a point on this circle. So if I replace x with 1 and y with -8, it has to balance. So I get 1 squared plus what is it? Minus 8 squared plus 2gx, so plus 2g times 1 plus 2f times minus 8, and then plus c equals 0. Okay, and what we're going to get here is, that's going to be 65, that's going to be 2g, that's going to be 16f, and that's going to be c, and that's going to be equal to 0. Now, the real catch in this question is, remember I was talking to you earlier about the points, so that'd be 5 minus 5 as an example. Okay, and as I said earlier, the g value is minus 5. So the g value, because it's minus g minus f, the g value is minus 5 and the f value is plus 5. Now here's the deal. For this type of equation in this quadrant only, and one of the other quadrants, it's going to be that your g value and f value are the same size, but they're always opposite in sign. So g equals minus f. So when I go into this formula here, I can replace g with minus f, because it's 2 times minus f. And then I have minus 16f, and we know that the c value is the same as f squared. Okay, and then we're going to enter a quadratic equation. Okay, and then this is our quadratic equation here. 65. I think it's going to be 13 and 5. If I'm correct, if I'm right in myself, so it's going to be f. It's going to be f minus 13 and f minus 5 equals to 0. So it's going to be f equals 13 and f equals 5. Now I'm going to reread the question. What exactly did it want from me? Find the equation of each circle. Okay, so that means that if f is minus 13 and f is 5, then g will have to be minus 13 and f will have to be minus 5. Sorry, g will have to be minus 5 because it's opposite in sign. So here's my two sets, okay? Now please remember c equals f squared or g squared, so c is going to equal 169 because that's 13 squared, and c is going to equal 25 here. And now all of a sudden it's just a matter of filling out my formula here. Okay, so it's going to be x squared plus y squared plus 2gx. So I'll do minus 26x because I'm using minus 13, that's the first one. 2fy, so it's going to be 26x, and then a c value of 169. Then the second one's going to be x squared plus y squared. Minus 2gx is going to be minus 10x. 2fy is going to be 10y. And c value of 25, and that equals 0. Once again, check your marking scheme, make sure everything is good to go. And when I look at my marking scheme, these are the answers that we are given. So that's perfect, right? So that is question 3 on paper 2.